Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Make a Sci-Fi RPG episode 18. In the last episode we spent a long time rigging Player 2.0 and painting the skin weights to try and get the best looking deformations and stuff that we possibly could. And then we brought it into Substance Painter and we did some texturing and stuff. It was a long road with Player 2.0, but it was worth it. Because in this episode, we're actually going to put all that to use. We're going to bring in Player 2.0 rigged that I've exported from Maya. These are all the maps that I got from Substance Painter. We're going to drag and drop them in to Unity. And we're going to set up Player 2.0 and see if everything works. Because everything worked with our original player. It's just that the model was too high poly and it wasn't UV mapped. So we're going to see if we can get it all, Player 2.0, working the way it should be. So I have our original player set up here. We're bringing in Player 2.0. He's a little bit small, so we're going to scale him up so that they're roughly the same size. And then everything that was on the original player, we need to put onto Player 2.0. And then test it all to make sure that it works. So we also need the gun, which is what I'm looking for here, because that is hidden under his left arm, I think. And you can't just drag and drop textures straight onto a model. You have to create materials, add the textures to the materials, and then add the materials onto the model. That is something that I should know. I did know. I just forgot. And that's allowed. Nothing wrong with forgetting. So when do I remember? We're going to create material. There we go. Straight away. Good boy. I just need... There we go. I need to know what material... I actually think I only need one. So I put in the base map, which is the color, and the normal map, which will give it the detail. And that's because we've seen in when I was trying to set up Enemy 2.0 that when I used like the metallic maps and the rough map and the height map, I had a lot of problems. And I don't know if it's the shader variant that I'm using or what that issue is. But I did find a lot of... well, you know what? I put in something there from the mask map. See, because the HDRP uses... or it does things differently to the standard pipeline. And the standard pipeline is what I'd learned. Or what I have learned so far. So I'm basically trying to teach myself the high definition render pipeline as I go myself. That is very weird and dark, isn't it? Yeah, take the mask map off because I don't think that's... I think I've looked it up ages ago, and I think the mask map... It's like a way of combining two maps together, and then you put in a map, like you create a mask map from two or more of these, like the height map or roughness map or something, and then you put that in as a mask map. I don't really remember it, well, obviously I don't understand it if I don't remember it, but there you go. So I'll stick to just using the base color in the normal map for the minute. Especially because this is just a prototype. It's not... Errors found while importing rig in this animation file. That's never good. The avatar can be configured after setting. Yeah. Great. Import message. Invalid avatar rig configuration. Missing or invalid transform requires human bone head not found. I think I spoke about this because I recorded the audio for a different video after I'd already recorded... the work that's going that you're watching right now, and I do remember talking about the head bone, that I had an issue where it was saying that there was no head bone. There is a head bone there, and it is called head. And once I actually drag and drop it in, it works fine. So I really don't know why Unity didn't. I don't know if it was an issue with Unity or an issue with Maya. So either the way Maya exported it or the way Unity imported it. Who knows? They can all be a little bit finicky. But if we look here, right, we've got, where would it be? This is player 2.0, chest, neck, go down from the neck, head, right there, head. So why it recognizes all the other bones and not this one here and is saying that the head does not exist, I don't know. But you can just don't know what. Well, I suppose I had to do that at some stage. That's the animator controller we set up for our original player. So I guess I'm just going to set up everything else. We're going to copy that component. So I'm just going to copy everything across and we'll fix the head in a minute. Basically, you just go into the rig and you can set up the bones manually in the rig. That's fine. And that's what we'll do. So we've got, this is our avatar. That's the animator controller that we had on this guy that has all the different animation states and the blend trees in it. We're going to put in the character controller and paste the value. So its character controller should be the same as this one. So this is good. It needs, what else does it need? See, this is why I didn't delete the original one before I'd set up the new one. So I can just go back and forth. And it has a character, oh yeah, so it needs the script. All the lovely scripts that we made. So we've got all that. Unless missing or invalid transform. So unless, if you remember, if you've been following the series, and honestly I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. If you remember when we were rigging this guy, every bone we had to show their transforms, and then we had to go in and try and orient everything so that like the Z was coming out and the Y was going from one bone to the next bone. Maybe because I ignored the head bone. Maybe I didn't, maybe it has to be set up in a certain way where that transform is going in a different, possibly. I don't know. Anyway, so we go over to our player 2 rigged, and in the inspector you'll see this, you go to the rig and configure rig, and it brings out this whole thing where it's showing you that the head bone is missing, everything else is there, and it's also saying character is not in T-pose. What the fuck is that? That's a T-pose. Unless it's, you know, the fingers need to be pointing straight out, and that needs to be lowered a little bit, but I mean, this is T-pose. So that's a T enough pose. So we go to the head, find it where it's missing, just head, neck, so it's there's nothing there, so we'll pop in our player 2.0 head, and that's, you know, this is why you need to have a naming convention that you stick to and that you understand. Because if all these were just called bone 1, bone 2, bone 3 for every single bone, you would be boned, like literally boned. So I know that this is the left elbow, that's the left shoulder, it's the first bone in the index finger, and so on and so forth. Yeah, just ignore it. Saying it's not in T-pose, it isn't T-pose. Yeah, there you go. Now it's not in T-pose. But as you can see, the head is now green. So all we had to do was just drag and drop that in and tell it that that is the head bone. Because Unity was like, head? No. Didn't get it. All the bones are there. It's fine. Just apply it, done it, get out of it. Apply, done, go. I don't know if this really causes an issue when it says it's not in T-pose. What I remember from this is that I just left it and went out of this and had no issue. So like I could kind of understand it going, well, the fingers aren't straight or whatever, but like there's nothing wrong with this bone really. Anyway, I applied what I did, click done, go, fuck this, I'm not not spending ages, because again, it was coming up to the deadline, which thankfully is past. And spoiler alert, I actually got my results back, because we are in the summer right now and I'm still trying to catch up with all these videos. It's taken me a long time because there was a lot of videos. And then I started doing the Let's Plays and some other stuff. Kind of put this on the back burner. I also wanted to take a break from this after the deadline, because I got very, very stressed. Handed it up, didn't work for my tutor, wouldn't work on his computer. Apparently that wasn't an issue with my build. It was an issue with Google Drive. So I sent it to him using Firefox Send, and it worked. Now, it was very slow on his computer, so obviously I still need to do some work on optimization. Having the occlusion culling didn't seem to make much of a difference. I'd need to figure out exactly what was causing the issues. I know that a lot of the textures are huge. They're like 25 megs per texture. I did try to condense a lot of them. Anyway, long story short, I got really stressed because I handed it up on the deadline. Was told it didn't work. He said I need to rebuild it and send it to him, and I was like, well, I'm not going to get that done, because I sent it to him on the Sunday and the deadline was the Monday. And I got an email from him at 11 p.m. on Sunday night saying, it's not working, you'll have to resend it. And I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to rebuild it, or find the problem, rebuild it, and send it again by tomorrow. And then he was like, well, you know what, just don't mind the deadline, I'll give you an extra week. Because, just because. But he was kind of, anyway, I started that, sent it to him, and it worked eventually. But I just needed a break after that, because I was literally in tears towards the end working on this, and I just didn't even want to look at it again for a little while, because I was just like, no, it was just, and it was my own fault. Like, I put too much pressure on myself, making something far too big and far too ambitious for what was needed according to the brief. But we learn from our mistakes. Anyway, got the results back, got the distinction, so at least all that hard work paid off. So I was happy enough with that. I've not been paying attention to what I've been doing, but we're still setting up the Player 2.0, so we've added in the gun. So we're just trying to place the gun in his hand and have it so that when he animates and he's holding it, it'll kind of point in the right direction. At least that's the theory. There is a stain on my desk and I don't know what it's off. Very strange. Anyway, you guys don't care about that, but it's weird. I don't know what it is. Anyway, replacing it. Spoiler alert: we get it placed. So we do get it placed eventually. But this is it. It's very finicky. I don't know if there's a quicker way of doing this or a more efficient way. I don't really think there is. Like, if you want to place something in a character's hand and have it and orient it in a certain direction, so that it lines up with an animation, I think this is really the only way you got to do it. So, game dev is not as glamorous as people think. I heard a story. I don't know if I've told this on this channel before in any of these videos, but I can't remember if it was GTA or Red Dead Redemption 2. Actually, no, there is a story about Red Dead Redemption 2, I know specifically. Every tree in that game was hand-placed. So whereas like Unity and most game engines would have a thing on the terrain where you could just paint in trees and you can make it look randomized and stuff. No, it was somebody's job or a team's job to go through the entire map of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a massive map, and hand place every single tree, which is just, insane. Could you imagine? Oh my god, do you think trying to sort out a gun is hard? Like, could you imagine hand placing every tree in that game? But there was another story, and again, I think it was one of the Red Dead Redemption. Might have been a GTA. There was a junior artist on it, junior 3D artist, I think, and it was his job to design the leaves of the trees. And so he spent, weeks or months or whatever it was designing these leaves, and they never made it into the game. It was just cut out. So, that's also part of the job, I guess. You never know what's going to be. So, yeah, it's not all big explosions and massive open worlds or making, fun, interesting platformers that people love. What's going on here? There is a lot of... What's the word? I don't know. You gotta grind. You gotta do the grind. Gamers will understand that. So we're creating an empty game object. What is this? Oh, I'm sorting out my debris, my steel girders, just to keep my hierarchy nice and neat. It's always a good idea. So that's fine. We don't need to see that. Now we're going to test him, see if he works. Wait for him to load. So he's animating. The gun is moving. He's not quite holding it. He's definitely not holding it in the right way. It also looks really big compared to him. But he's animating, which means that his the avatar worked. His rigging works. So that's good. We're going to set up the camera, the Cinemachine camera, the same way we had on our original player, looking over his shoulder. Just keep it going. He needs to be tagged as a player so that he can pick up everything. All my code relies on that. 4 doors opening, him taking damage, him being able to pick up the power conduits, him being able to place the power conduits, all that kind of stuff. And he runs, he moves. So, will the door open? Door opens. He can look around. Picks up a weapon. Doesn't look like it's in his hand, though. Just need to... No, the weapon is not active. And the bool hasn't been set. So there's something not working. Let's tag this player. Shouldn't be the code because the code worked. Player 2.0 rigged. Oh, could it have been? Could it have? I think these are all referencing. Because the way I had it set up was that they reference the script on an object and they're referencing the script on the original player. I think that's it. So I just had to change it so that they get the script. It's the same script. It's just on a different object like this, player health. So you just take the guy that has him and put him in there. And that should fix that problem. Because, I mean, that's confusing because it's referencing a script, and the script can be more than one object, but Maybe it's because he's not a prefab. I don't know. So we're gonna put him back to where we start originally. Oh, I think I remember a really weird problem I had with this. We're gonna take a look. Oh, well, I probably should scrub forward because it takes ages to play. Here we go. His animation is too fast for his movement, or his movement is too slow, I guess. So that's another thing that needs to be adjusted. He can't go through there, that's good. He can come through here, he can pick up a weapon in his hand, wrong way around, not pointing forward, and very big, and he shoots. He shoots, he scores. And the laser holders spawn and destroy. So far everything is working the way it should. There's just little issues like fixing the way this is facing. We'll get that going, we should be fine. We'll just take the whole rifle, take the whole goddamn rifle. And oh, I keep looking at the magazine. Thought I select the rifle. Here we go, rifle. Also, it would appear that the texture on the magazine isn't working. It should be the same as the rest of the gun. Hey there, boo-boo. Yeah, we'll just hand place it. Make it look as good as possible. This is why I'd eventually like to do a game where I model the gun myself, model the player myself or the characters, and animate them myself, because that way I could have everything lined up properly. That's a lot of work. But like, this player is not modeled necessarily for this gun, and the animation is not animated for this player or this gun. Whereas if you just do everything yourself, because I got the animation from Mixamo, I made the player myself, and I got the gun from an asset pack on Unity. Woo, that's bright. But he shoots. I'd also love to know what that pixelation is when you shoot too many around there, that kind of pixely aura. I never figured that out. But hey, that's very satisfying laser. Pew pew. I love it. I mean, it took us long enough to get it, so it should be good. But I do like it. Tanks my FPS, so look at that, 35. But I mean, I'm getting 30 frames per second. It doesn't go below 30 very often. Even that's the high end. That's basically 40 frames per second, 39. So, I mean, I know you want to play games at 60 frames per second, but didn't we used to play games at 30 frames per second? Wasn't that a thing? Like, every game was a 30 FPS game? I could be totally wrong. But, look at his legs go sideways. Although I have noticed, I've been playing GTA Online quite a bit on the PS4, and when I run in that, when I'm sprinting, the run animation, the sprint animation is like the legs do go a little bit wonky. Is that how we run in real life? Like, if you ever play GTA Online or see videos of it, like, watch people sprinting and look at the legs. It's quite funny. But these are the things you end up noticing when this is what you do. So we're going to start playing again. Oh yeah, because we'll see if that took the changing of the gun, because I did that while I was playing, and I copied the rotation and stuff. Yeah, so that's fine. So can you kill people now? Whew, bright light. 80 frames per second, 100 frames per second. Like, I mean, what more do you want? It's not that bad. So we pick it up. I can't tell. I'm assuming that worked. I have my stats are in the way. Can't get out the door. Perfect. I got stuck. What am I looking in the animator for? Is my crouch not working? Armed movement. Is my blend tree? Problem with getting them all from fucking Mixamo, right? I don't know which one's which. We gotta select our player to see it. What is going on? There we go. Was his animation not working? I thought it was. His idle's working. Not. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Huh. I didn't notice that. Well, I mean, obviously, oh, there we go. It is working. Was it working when he picked up the weapon? I don't recall. Let's find out. We'll just... What am I doing down here? What's going on? Oh, did I have the issue? Is this where my issue came up? Look at that run speed. It's terrible. But I didn't even change that, so... speed. You'd be looking for speed. Run speed. That's what you're looking for. Run speed. It's right here. It's this guy. There you go. I wonder if root motion is on. I know they can clash, and you'd think it would make it faster, but I think it just reacts. Don't get stuck. Fucker got stuck. Through the door. Come on. Ay. I'm just moving through. Just moving through. It's fine. It's not. It could be the step offset. It shouldn't be, though. Well, it's not. He's getting stuck on. I don't know what he's getting stuck on. Picks up the weapon. Yeah, the animation is working. But then again, I wasn't paying attention to whether it was working before or not. Now, can we kill people? We get in at the door. Assuming that worked. Go find a guy. My enemy 2.0 is working. Nice. Are my enemy 2.0s in it? Yeah, he's too fat. He's too fat. Yes, that would be his character controller radius. If we lower the radius down, he'll fit through. Which again is strange because I copied the component values from the original player and they were fine. So why suddenly is this guy too fat? Here we go. Skinny him in and he can get through. I'm assuming that updated and said 2. Did I not bring my enemies in? I mustn't have if they're not here. I thought I had them already set up. Pew pew pew. Oof. Ooh dear. And activate the lift. I also noticed that I don't know if it's happening yet or if it happens a little bit further on when I've introduced more into it. Sometimes he just slows down. I think it's related to the frames, and if you shoot, he runs faster, which I'm not entirely sure what that's about. Look at those, 19 frames per second. Which is strange because there's nothing in this room, so you would think, are they all green? Green, green, yeah. So he can pick them up, he can fix them, which is a start. Shooting, 30 frames. Oof, I don't know. Does the lift go up? Press space. Oh. Go out. Go back in. Press space. There we go. Oh, yay. Don't get stuck. Loving that laser. And it should open now. It does. And boom. Win. My amazing win screen. So we need to make sure that anything that we changed while it was playing, we re-change. So the speed goes up, the radius needs to come down. I feel like 0.3, whatever it was, doesn't really matter. Yeah, there we go. Just trying to see here. I don't have any enemy 2.0. I've turned them off for the testing, okay. So we can turn it back on and make sure that he works. There he is. He's got his ragdoll all set up. I mean, we set him up in a previous video, right? Make sure that he is looking for his target is the enemy or the player. Tomato rigged. Where am I putting him? Target, yeah. He needs that. Everything else should be fine. Don't know why I'm looking over it again as if I could make a change right now. I can't. I mean, I could go back into it and never mind. And apply it back to a prefab. So bring in some more enemies, set them up, bring in their waypoints. Don't need to see this. We've seen that plenty of times. And we'll hit play. There we go. And we maximized, which slowed him down. We're doing bumping his speed up again. Yeah, this is the issue I ended up having. I couldn't get up and down the ramp. Oh, it was very strange. And it didn't seem to matter. I would change, and he's still so slow. Why? Why is he so slow? I don't know. He's got a gun. And yeah, I see. When he shoots, he moves faster. Very strange. Oh, there's an enemy. Phasing in and out of existence. So obviously we haven't fixed the shader graph problem. But they are shooting at me. My health is going down. The effect kind of worked, but it didn't disappear. Dissolve like he was supposed to. And I don't know if the game's just tanked or Unity's frozen. Oh, the game just tanked. Let's go back to... Also, it's really hard to aim. So that'll be something I need to fix. 17, and they still shoot when they're dead. And there's the effect, but he doesn't dissolve. And the last guy. Boom, 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 boom. Ragdoll. Blech. Gets beamed out. Stays there. Load of poo, that's what that is. Just a big load of poo. And then frames tanking. And we do everything else. We go through, we pick up everything. Same thing. Down the lift. Off we go. We picked it up, we fixed everything. Can we see it good here? Oh, look at those frames. Jeez. It's not even that many particles, really. Unity calculating, so they're all colliding as well, so collisions are quite computationally expensive, I believe is the phrase. So that could be part of the issue. Because it's also instantiating them really quickly. So like every bullet would have a collider on it, and they don't have colliders, do they? Oh, they must have, because they're colliding with the ground. So the submitter would have collider, yeah. So that would be something I could look at to see if I could just make it a little bit better, more optimized, run a little bit faster. Welcome. So the main menu button works, and we're back. Why are we back? What are we doing? Oh yeah, this is me trying to. Anyway, get stuck everywhere. I'm gonna shoot him again. I do like shooting people. There's a screenshot right there. Like, why is he fizzling in and out? And then he disappears. Well, but that's where we're at right now. So you've got the whole level. You've got our enemy 2.0 working-ish. Well, I mean, everything works except for the dissolve effect. Player 2.0 is working. Seems to be working relatively well. Unity, on the other hand, has a tendency to be a little bit temperamental. Yeah, so that's our level. Everything works. So good. I think we'll leave that video there for today. When we come back next time, we'll see where we're at. There will be, if I remember correctly, there's going to be, we do the lighting, we do some set dressing, so we actually start filling up some of the rooms on the bottom level. We try and do a workaround for the dissolve effect because it's not working on the enemies. And then there's a few more bits and pieces to do before I got it to the point where I could hand it up. So, yeah, that's it. We'll leave it there for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Consider sharing it with people you think might be interested in this kind of content. It would help me grow the channel. I'd be very much appreciative of it. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon so you can be kept up to date with all the cool upcoming content that I got. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you all next time.